Good morning. It is 8:07 on News Talk 1079. Welcome on this Tuesday morning. The Stones Automotive Group call-in text line is 208-542-1079, and it's going to be active today. I want to give if flash polls could have movie trailers, it would be in a world where the U.S. Senate is considering the big, beautiful bill. If you were a sitting U.S. Senator, would you vote for it or vote against it? So think about that. We'll probably ask that question. I can't remember which one we'll do first. Yeah, no. We'll do that one at 9:35. The question we'll ask later this hour. Don't call in right now. All right, we'll do it in about a half an hour. But we'll ask you if Elon Musk makes good on his, I don't know if it's a promise or a threat, makes good on his claim that he will launch the American Party if the big, beautiful bill passes. Which party will you be a part of? Will you remain as a Republican or Democrat or independent? Will you join a new party? I'm like, what will your decision be? Because usually when Elon Musk decides to do something, he's pretty good at making it happen. And he's saying the American Party is overdue, and the passage of the big, beautiful bill, which adds to our debt, massive spending, is his signal that the current two-party system gives us no hope whatsoever that we will ever get a handle on federal expenditures, which you can absolutely defend that. So we'll get to both of those things. We do have the vote-a-rama that's going on in the Senate, and Trump says he's pretty confident that that bill is going to get passed today, at least in the Senate. But then it's got to go back to the House. It's not final passage. It's not ready for a presidential signature. So if it does pass today, who knows? I know there was this big goal to get it done in time for the 4th of July. So we wait and we watch. Meanwhile, here in Idaho, we have a trifecta of true crime developments. Of course, they have identified the firefighters in that horrible ambush. And yesterday, they identified the shooter. And which is strange. We're still learning a lot, and there's so much speculation and so much that's going on in. I'm trying. Hold on, 1 second. Sorry, I'm doing a couple of things here. There's so much that is going on right now, but we don't know exactly everything about this young man. 20 years old. We know that he was a troubled individual. He did not get along with his parents. We know he had, from at least what the early reports are, is that there was a restraining order with his parents. So clearly they worried about him being violent, and he had a problem with authority as well. So we're trying to learn more about that. Wes Rowley is his name. And Governor Little, by the way, has ordered flags to be flown at half-staff following that attack in northern Idaho, and issued a statement. He said the entire state of Idaho grieves the profound loss of the firefighters killed in the shocking ambush in North Idaho. All our public safety officers, especially our firefighters, bravely confront danger on a daily basis, but we've never seen a heinous act of violence like this on our firefighters before. This is not Idaho. This indescribable loss is felt deeply by all those in the firefighting community and beyond. Please join Teresa and me as we continue to pray for the victims and their loved ones. And so the order issued yesterday to lower the flags to half staff to honor those firefighters that were slain. And you know what? That one is just so senseless. That all of it is just so incredibly senseless. Meanwhile, I don't know if you caught this or not, but Nate Eaton had a sit down, East Idaho News, with Lori Vallow. And let me state up front, I thought Nate did a fine job. I got here way early this morning. I couldn't sleep. I woke up at around 2:30, and I laid there for a little bit, and I'm like, I cannot fall back to sleep. So what do I do in those situations? Well, I'll get an early start. So I came in. I was probably at work by 3:30 this morning, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to watch a little bit of it. And it was weird. It was so weird. But I stayed up front. I think Nate did a good job interviewing someone like Lori, who just dodges and evades, and he asked good questions like, well, there's kind of some holes in your story here, because you're saying her theory, or at least the thing she floated to her son Colby on a podcast, was that, well, she accidentally killed JJ and then committed suicide, and that's what happened. And Nate's like, well, then why were their bodies chopped up? Like, what happened? Well, they weren't. That's a lie. Anyway, she goes off on these tangents, and then she filibusters, and then she changes the subject, and it's just very hard to follow, but she is super good at it. And I was doing other things. Like, it was playing in the background. I don't want you to think I sat there riveted on it, but I did listen to it playing in the background. And for the love of all that is holy, can we just put her in prison and forget about her? Because I feel we have mass headlines today. Brian Kohberger with the plea deal. We have Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell. Now we have these shootings in North Idaho, and I'm thinking, okay, these are not the faces of Idaho. We do not want this to be representative of our state. We're so much more than what Idaho's getting recognized for, and it's just sad, but it feels like we've been kind of a hot spot lately. So speaking of Kohberger, I don't know if you saw this, and I don't know the legal system well enough, so I don't really speak as an expert here. But the family of Goncalves, the victim one of the four in this case, they are livid, and understandably so. They weren't consulted about this plea deal. Now, you can't allow the families to be the decision maker of everything, because that's just not going to work out, especially when you have four different families and lots of different opinions. But the prosecutors, apparently, according to the family, didn't even really keep them in the loop on what was happening. And here you have a quadruple homicide suspect. You have evidence, and there is something. And again, I kind of want to be careful here, because it's easy to armchair quarterback. It's easy to second guess. But I will say, just from an outside observer standpoint, it feels incomplete in a case like this for it to end in a plea deal. And I don't say that as a member of the media wanting this to be a big story for the next year and a half or two. I say that as Joe Citizen, thinking if there's ever a time that the death penalty is warranted, it's in a senseless quadruple homicide on a college campus. And I don't know if they didn't feel like their evidence was strong enough. I don't know if they were thinking about it's expensive to have someone on death row. The appeals are massively expensive and last for years. I don't know if the prosecutor has a philosophical opposition to capital punishment. I don't know what's driving it. All I know is that we get to this point, and if indeed Brian Kohberger killed these four young people, they deserve a trial. They deserve justice. They deserve the families deserve that opportunity to go through the process in seeking justice. And it feels like a punt. It feels like it's selling short, or I don't know what the right euphemism is here. But I didn't expect it, because there's been this huge buildup to the trial that's coming up a little later this year, and now not, apparently. And that just feels like, well, there's always going to be some loose ends to this now. And the fact that the families felt completely left out by this, that's just not acceptable. And I think hopefully most people are reasonable. And if there is a good, explainable, defensible reason why there should have been a plea deal in this case, as opposed to taking it to trial, then tell the family that. Keep the family in that loop. So that was a little bit frustrating. But we don't do true crime too much here, but when it impacts the state of Idaho so deeply, we will take it up. Wanted to mention a couple of things. Wow, already I'm looking at my text. It's already filled with people wanting to weigh in. I guess we could do early voting here, but we'll get to some of those a little bit later. Julie sent me a story about a New York statue. Although statue structure would probably be a better word for it. When you say statue, that implies someone with artistic talent created it. No, it's a dude's anatomy, and I'm not even going to explain what it's doing. All right, it's sort of a dynamic display. I'll just say that, and it's like 10 feet tall in New York City. It's interactive in a certain way. Passersby can actually interact with part of it. Your imaginations are running wild, but I'm not going to explain what it does because it is a little bit too graphic. And of course, this is a family show. So you have that. I saw another story out of, it was San Francisco. Big, tall, naked rainbow lady, and not a real lady, just a big, tall image of a lady, and naked, highly sexualized, rainbow stuff everywhere. And of course it is Pride month, but I just want to say, and then I saw an image of the Toronto march, not an image, but a video of a Toronto march. And luckily they had strategic pixelation on the video, so you didn't see anything. Completely naked marchers. I don't know if they were protesting anything, but they were out there just in Toronto, right down the street, complete, everything out, everything showing. And when you see these kinds of stories, I genuinely feel, and I try to be very measured with this stuff, but when I see these kinds of things, I feel like this is a harbinger that when you read about the fall of Rome, it carries a certain feel to it. And there's a certain energy about the fall of Rome. Same energy when I read in the Old Testament about Sodom and Gomorrah, about the rampant devotion that society at large has toward sexuality. Like everything gets tied in to something erotic or sexual, and it's just a complete surrender of any kind of self-control. It's just an operation on impulse. And I think, there are those scenes out of the Hunger Games. I read the books, I saw the movies, and you have the one, I can't remember if it was District 13 or District 1, I can't remember. Anyway, just really flamboyant, showy stuff that they put out there. Not so much sexual, but it was very colorful and over the top and cartoonish. And I feel like there is, when you look at the left and you see the purple-haired everybody and you see all of this, I'm like, we're kind of entering that stage. We're kind of in, at least there's a part of society, that's where they are at. They are somewhat disconnected from reality and what it is like to live day in and day out and make a life for yourself and find ways to thrive and get by. And to me, that's sad that we're in some corners, we're in those later stages. All right, it's 8:23 on News Talk 1079, and somebody just chastised me on the text line. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say it. It's my show, and I choose my words. And if I don't want to disclose in graphic detail what this statue's doing in New York, then guess what? I won't. So there you go. Sorry, I just had to do a little boundary throwdown there. We'll be back. It's 8:23 on News Talk 1079. We're about 10 minutes away. I hope you've been thinking about our first flash poll today. Elon Musk says he's launching the American Party if the big, beautiful bill passes. If he does that, which party will you align with? Think about it, and we'll talk about it coming up. Hello there, Julie.
Hi, Neil.
It's 8:29 on News Talk 107. I'm fired up.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a little fired up. Someone in a text who, can we just call him DeWalt or Makita? Would that be okay?
Sure.
Maybe Craftsman?
Sure.
All right, DeWalt. I kind of like DeWalt.
Okay, DeWalt.
Okay.
Because it sounds like it could be a first name.
It could be. Yeah, that's true.
Let's call him DeWalt.
Yeah, that's true. So DeWalt texted him. And he said, well, you don't even know what's in the big, beautiful bill, so your opinion doesn't matter. And I'm like, my opinion doesn't matter, yet you're listening to my show.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work?
I don't know. Well,
your food is terrible, so let me take 3 more bites.
He also spelled your name wrong, so you're listening to a show you don't even understand either, mister. So
yeah. And don't you love it? Isn't it always fun when somebody tells you what to do with something that is clearly yours? Like your words? Like he's forcing me to say what the statue was in New York?
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
You can do what you want to do.
Yeah, anyway. All right. Usually I don't respond to troll. I couldn't resist calling him DeWalt, though.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Yeah.
He might change his middle name. Maybe his first name's like Robert. Then it'll be Robert DeWalt.
Yeah, that's true. It could be. That is a possibility. But let's talk about Town and Country Gardens, where you can find garden tools.
You can.
At Town and Country Gardens.
Yeah, like a shovel.
A shovel.
Dig yourself out of a hole.
Rakes. You can.
That you can step on.
That's true. Yes. Let's see, shovels and rakes. What other garden tools are there?
At Town and Country Gardens, they have everything you need to beautify your lawn, your garden, and there's things that you still need for the planting season. I'm sure there's fertilizer. Maybe you accidentally killed something you already planted and you might be able to replant it. You can still do the 4-step lawn program, which is amazing. And all the plants that you need for the inside of your home. So Town and Country Gardens, south of Idaho Falls, across from the malting plant, right there on Yellowstone Highway.
Okay. And by the way, it's still not too late to get the 4-step lawn program.
Yeah.
So get her done. Can I legally say that? Probably not. So get it done.
Get her finished.
Yeah, get her finished.
Get her completed.
Get her. There you go. Okay, Julie, we have calls that are waiting. Should I take them really quick?
Sure, let's just do it.
All right, we'll ask you to be brief because we do want to stay on schedule today. But caller, go ahead.
Is that me?
It's you, yeah. What's up?
Hey, baby, what's going on?
I don't know, baby. You tell me.
Well, I'll tell you what. You two are out of control today.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell you something. I really can respect what you're saying, and this guy that texts you, he's an idiot. The other thing is that, I have all my students, and I always tell them, my opinion's the only one that matters. So that's what you got to say. Then I tell them to say it, and they always go, your opinion. I say, that's not what I said. Say what I said.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, that's the whole thing, is everybody starting to think that their opinion matters to other people, and it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My opinion is what matters to me.
Yeah.
And so DeWalt can drill it, do whatever he wants. I don't give a crap. I mean, he can go hang out at Costco as far as I'm concerned. So,
I knew it was. I
It's
knew
in
it.
there somewhere.
I knew it was coming.
so I'll be short and brief. You guys have a wonderful day.
All right, you too. Thank you for the call.
I miss him. He hasn't called for a minute.
I don't miss him, but I'm glad he called. Let's go to the next caller. Good morning. How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
So I might possibly be DeWalt.
Oh, really?
Hi.
Hi,
Yes.
DeWalt.
Oh, really? And I absolutely enjoy your show. And I think you mischaracterized my point. My point was no one in Congress ever gets to read the entirety of the bills. And so for News Talk 109 to be taking a poll on would you vote or wouldn't you vote for the bill seems to be a little bit inappropriate. So from everything I have heard in the bill, I vote no. But I'm very much a conservative and appreciate your conservative views. But I don't have any idea what is in its entirety of the bill.
Well, you're right. We don't. Do I know what is in Section 43, subsection B, line 4? No, I don't. I don't know it to that detail, and nobody does. So you have to look at it. Okay, it does. We know generally it does this. It extends Trump's tax cuts. We know generally what it does when it comes to Medicaid spending. And so we know some general ideas. So I think you're kind of creating a whole bunch of expectations here. And despite what you say, anybody gets to form an opinion about anything that they want to. And here on this show, we allow people to express that. So you might say my opinion's not valid, and that's fine for you to say that, but that doesn't mean we have to abide by that verdict.
But me saying your opinion's not valid actually provoked further conversation. And
yes, it did.
From the Medicaid perspective, I appreciate Congressman Johnson, his discussion about, no, we're not cutting Medicaid, we're cutting the fraud.
Yeah.
Which is great. I absolutely, and quite frankly, I have a severely disabled 12-year-old. I get Medicaid, even though I make a reasonable salary. But I am all in favor, and this goes back decades, probably even to the Obama era, where Obama had the view that if you're getting Medicaid and you're able-bodied, you should be helping in some manner for the services you're getting.
Yeah.
And so my point was, none of us in the atmosphere around your show know the minutia.
Right.
You know, we can go back to you can't read the bill until you pass the bill. And so the flash poll is subject to that.
Well, but if your standard is you have to know absolutely everything, then every opinion is uninformed to some degree.
Sure.
So we're going to leave it at that. I've got to get to our break, but I appreciate you calling. It's 8:37 on News Talk 107.9. We'll be back, and we'll do that flash poll. Defiantly, Julie. We will do the flash poll.
On the Neil Larson Show.
Yes. Thank you. Mm-hmm. It's coming up.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, it's Brad from Now 105.1 and QP99. I'm in the studio here. I love our studios, by the way. Ranger Rick back there. There's Neal and Julie doing their thing. Hey, when you want to advertise on the radio, what do? You call the radio station, right? But what do you do when you want to advertise on Facebook and Instagram and Hulu and Disney Plus and Peacock and the other TV streaming services? You can kind of click around on them and make guesses or read books or take courses online on how to do that advertising. Or you could call us at the radio station. At Sandhill Media, we take care of your local radio and digital marketing. So reach out to us at sandhillmediagroup.com and we'll make sure that your message gets heard and seen wherever your customers are.
8:43 on News Talk 1079. And Julie, are we going to do this?
Yeah.
All right. Since we are talking about the big, beautiful bill, I was going to do it the other way about create the great American or the American Party for Elon Musk. But since the topic has migrated toward passage of the big, beautiful bill, we'll do that one first.
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right. And the question is, if you were in Congress, would you? Okay. You know what? I can rephrase it and I can placate DeWalt.
Who's still upset, by the way.
He is still upset. We're still getting texts. He felt like because I had to end the call, that was me admitting that I was wrong. And in reality, no, we were several minutes overdue to take our commercial break. So that's how radio works. But I will word it this way. Right now, are you opposed to or in support of the big, beautiful bill?
Mm-hmm. Okay, there you go.
Is that okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
Does that make everybody happy?
Doubtful. But let's do it.
Probably not at this. So, okay, here we go. And 208-542-1079. That is the Stones Automotive Group call-in text line. And you can call it, you can text it. That's why we call it a call-in text line. And we want to know, are you for the big, beautiful bill or are you against the big, beautiful bill? For it, against it. Yes, no, it all means the same thing. Support, opposed, however you want to look at it. Let's go to the phones. Caller, go ahead. Are you supportive or opposed to the big, beautiful bill?
I'm opposed. Too much pork barrel.
Okay. All right. Opposed to it. 208-542-1079. And I will read through some of these texts. Yes, stop the worst tax raise. Support it. Opposed. Support. Generally support. No. Generally support. 100% for it. Someone else said sure. I would interpret that as support. Let's go to our next caller. Support it or oppose it, caller? Go ahead.
I have no idea because I don't know what's in it. And I keep hearing opposing ideas. How do you vote for something you don't know what's in it?
Okay, well, thank you for the call. I would disagree. We know a lot of what's in it. 208-542-1079. We don't know everything. It's true. But let's go to the next caller. What you've heard, do you support it or oppose it? Caller, go ahead.
Support it.
You support it. All right, you're behind it. Thank you for the call. 208-542-1079. I'd love to.
Sorry, I was catching up.
No, you're good. You're good.
Because I'm keeping a tally. Sometimes I don't keep a tally, but because one side is winning so much, this is actually very split.
Pretty mixed. Mm-hmm. See, I like these. Let's go to the next call. For it, against it, caller. What do you say?
Good morning, Neil. How are you?
Good. Doing pretty well.
100% for it, and I'll dispute the guy who said we don't know what's in it. The Democrats made all 978 pages be read on the floor. We know exactly what's in it.
That's true. Thank you for the call. 208-542. We'll count him as a for it. I feel, and the numbers may be different, Julie, I feel like it's more support than opposition at this point.
No, it is more support. We're at 17 support and 6, and I'm still not caught up. So
okay. All right. Let's go back to the phones. Caller, you support it? You oppose it? Where are you at on the big, beautiful bill?
Against it. It's going to blow up the deficit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you for the call. Hopefully there's no Ukraine funding in it, so it would make the deficit even worse.
What's wrong with you?
Let's go to the next caller. Caller, support it or oppose it?
Definitely support the bill.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Let's go to our next caller. Support it or oppose it? How are you, caller?
I'm doing well this morning.
Good.
I support it.
You support it.
The fact that the Democrats are against it is all I need to know.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. 208-542-YIKES-1079. Caller, support it or oppose it?
I'm for it.
Okay, you're for it. All right, thank you. How's it? Man, Julie, you're writing down a lot. Oh, bless you.
I am sorry. I couldn't control that.
There was no warning on that. Usually I can get the slider down. Not then. It just erupted.
Yeah, no, support is winning. We're at 22 supporting it and 9 opposing it.
Okay. All right. 208-542-1079. We are asking you all.
I will clarify that several of the supports are saying, I'm doing it holding my nose.
Qualified,
or it's not my favorite, but I'm supporting it.
All right. Next caller, do you support it or oppose it?
If Trump is trying to make it happen, I oppose it.
So you just don't like Trump then?
Got that right.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the call. Like he's the opposite of the other guy that said, if the Democrats hate it, I love it. So I'd love to get those two down at a lunch table somewhere.
Have a good conversation.
I'd pay for lunch and I'd just let them talk. Let's go to, no, they hung up. 208-542-1079 if you'd like to join us on the program this morning. And I kind of want to, the flash poll's not the avenue to do this, but I'd like to have a further conversation with that guy who says, if Trump likes it, I hate it. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go to the next caller. How about you, caller? Do you support it or do you oppose it?
I support it just because the Democrats don't like it. That's all I need to know.
Okay, all right. Reflexive support, 208-542-1079.
Yeah. There's been a couple of texts like that, too, so it's not just the caller saying it. There's been texts saying, I trust him. He's done good things, good things with the tariffs, good things in other situations. Why not trust what he asked to have be done with the bill?
Yeah. All right. Next caller. Caller, do you support it or do you oppose it?
I oppose it. It seems like if some of these folks found out the Democrats opposed to eating poop, they would be shoveling it down. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the call. 208-542-1079. How about you, caller? Do you support it or do you oppose it?
I definitely support it.
Okay, you're behind it. Yeah, support's winning.
Support's winning. Yeah.
But it is mixed. So, yeah. All right, calls are flowing in here. Caller, what do you have to say? Do you support it or do you oppose it?
I support Trump, but not the big, beautiful bill.
Okay, all right. Well, and that's fair. That, I think, is the Elon Musk position. Mm-hmm. So 208-542-1079 is the number if you'd like to call. By the way, this doesn't count as you can vote in both flash polls today.
Yes, you
calling
can.
in. This doesn't count against you. So unless you try to take up too much time, then I might. So, yeah, 208-542-1079. We'll let it roll here for just a little bit longer. This has been a
yeah
a
little crazy.
I agree with you though. There's a lot of qualified support, like a lot of holding of the nose. Mm-hmm. Someone said, I support the big beautiful bill, even if it has problems. We can fix more later, but we need the taxes and the Doge parts. So
yeah, it's the 80-20. It's the rule that you're talking about all the time. If we can get 80%, sometimes you do hold your nose and vote.
Well, and I think that's an important question to ask. How close to perfect does a bill need to be for you to vote for it? Let's go to the next caller. Caller, would you vote for? Well, no. Do you support or oppose the big beautiful bill?
I support the big beautiful bill. It's time for the changes to be done, and we can't keep going back to the status quo stuff.
Okay.
So I support it.
Okay. We'll count you down as a supporter. Okay. Are we done?
Are we done? You bet.
I think we can be done.
So we're at 37 supporting it and 12 opposing it.
Wow. That's pretty wild. I'm trying to get to the patriotic music. So, stick with me here. We'll get to it eventually. So there we go.
Woohoo!
Woo! We made it. 8:53. We'll come back. We'll wrap up this hour just ahead. But we have yet Another flash poll for you next hour. Elon Musk says if the big, beautiful bill passes, he will launch the American Party the very next day. What party would you then align with? It's an important question. It's all ahead in what's remaining on the Neal Larson Show. It's 8:56 on News Talk 107.9, the Neal Larson Show, where all the cool kids sit. Right? Can we say that?
Sure thing. Sit at this table with us.
Yeah, that's fine. So I got an interesting email, Julie, yesterday. It was actually to a Gmail account when we did a podcast. Anyway, they sent it in and said, hey, Neal and Julie, an American Falls School's mom sent this to me. Apparently, this notification is only going out to select people in the area. It's concerning because it's a sure bet that these meetings are planned all over the state for the sole purpose of swaying public opinion in hopes of overturning House Bill 93, the most consequential anti-woke bill of 2025. Because there's a legislator involved in this meeting, along with local superintendents from District 28, I figured you may be interested in to know about it ahead of time. Thank you for all you do to promote common sense and decency in Idaho. I think I can say the name, right?
Sure.
James Lamborn.
Yeah.
He's running for legislature.
Great guy.
Anyway, and I believe this is in his district. So it's an American Falls town hall, and it says free and open to the public, but it seems like they're targeting their likely friends. And they're going to have Sonia Galaviz, an Idaho state representative, not theirs, but an Idaho state representative. Randy Jensen, who's the super nice guy. I know Randy. He ran for state superintendent a few years ago. You'll never meet a nicer guy. But he's on the opposite side of this from us. Heather Williams is the director of the Idaho Rural Schools Association, and Brady Garner is the assistant superintendent of the Preston Joint School District. So anyway, they're holding it on Monday, July 7th at 6:30 p.m. I don't announce this on my radio show because I want there to be a hostile atmosphere. Mm-hmm. I do announce it because I would like there to be counterpoints to this. I feel like you're going to have people that are going to go there, and maybe they are undecided. Maybe they don't really know quite how they feel about this. And if it's a town hall, I do want informed people to go there and ask tough questions and present the other side and stand up for parental rights in education.
As town halls should be.
Yes.
They should be filled with decency and good arguments because that's how they work.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have more on this coming up. It's 8:59. 9:07. Welcome. Hour 2 underway. If you'd like to reach us on our big, beautiful radio program, you can. 208-542-1079. That's the number to call. And watching live footage, the President of the United States, POTUS, has landed in Okeechobee, Florida. Okeechobee, which means you urinate 8 times. Okeechobee, Florida.
I was so waiting. Did you see the look on my face? I'm like, you're going to give that one up?
You're like, what? No, so she's like, oh no, take that off ramp to that dad joke right there. So, Alligator Alcatraz is opening up in Florida today. Mm-hmm. It's the grand opening of this illegal detention center.
You know what I'm frustrated about with all of Alligator Alcatraz?
Yeah.
Is it took them 3 days to put all of this together. That's it.
I know.
3 days.
Yeah.
These government projects are out of control that take months and months and months.
Or years. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So they did all of Alligator Alcatraz in 3 days?
Yes. So now there was infrastructure there, but they've brought in all of the fencing. They've brought in all of the beds. Oh, yeah. All of it in 3 days.
Okay. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
This can be done. We can work faster than we do on these government projects.
Yeah.
And all the government workers are out there going, shh.
Zip it. Shh. You want job security. Yeah. On a completely unrelated note, 17th Street is open.
It is. I was
3
caught
lanes.
in traffic with it yesterday.
It's 3/4 open.
Mm-hmm. Sure. It's great.
Everybody should have been on Facebook Live right there.
I think I'd had my full of shutdowns the other day or yesterday.
Yeah.
I mentioned I did a big long walk during the day yesterday. I was on a major road.
Yeah.
They've shut down a small, probably 15-foot portion of the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
They're repairing the sidewalk, which meant I had to walk down into the major road to get around it. As I walked around the construction, there was 3 guys sitting there smoking, doing nothing. So,
Okay, for a 15-foot stretch of the sidewalk.
3 guys.
Okay.
3 guys.
I think that's planned for completion in 2028. Not that we're complaining or anything. But you're right. I mean, back to Alligator Alcatraz here. You have President Trump. He just gets crap done. Like, you
Absolutely.
really appreciate that.
We have to give Ron DeSantis a ton of credit for this one, too. It was, I mean, this was really his baby. He made it happen. Things roll when Ron DeSantis expects them to roll in Florida. He really is a great leader.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He is. I think he's going to be a president at some point. I don't know if it'll be 2028. It could be 2036 by the time he gets there. It could be, he's still in his 40s, though. There's plenty of time. But because we have a good lineup, we really do, and we've talked a lot about that. So anyway, now I have a question, and I'm pausing. Usually, you hear an idea, and for some reason, as human beings, we are funny creatures, and we think we have to have an opinion about this within 3 microseconds, right? So here's the basic idea, and I am deliberately pressing pause on deciding what I think about it. But apparently the DOJ is looking at revoking citizenship for naturalized citizens if they commit crimes. And I feel like my first blush at this, and again, it's early. I don't know everything about it, so I'll need not to reference DeWalt here, but I'm going to reserve judgment on it. I'm not sure I like the idea. And the reason I don't is because once you've earned that, you've earned it. Like you've gone through the steps and you've earned citizenship to be in America. You shouldn't literally be a second-class citizen. You shouldn't have a vulnerability that I don't have. I was born here. I've been a citizen my whole life. I'm American-born and proud of it. If someone goes through the steps of being a naturalized citizen, I want them to feel like they are as equal as I am. And if I commit a crime, I'm still a citizen.
Right.
And I think that I do think the Supreme Court may overrule this because they're like, well, then it's not equal justice under the law.
Well, that was the law was my point of when I saw this last night, and I rolled past it because I was like, nah, this is going nowhere, because there's already a built-in punishment for breaking the law. If you're a naturalized citizen, you get treated just like every other citizen, and you go to prison if you're convicted, or you serve jail time, or you pay a fine or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're searching for a solution for something that already has a solution.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And maybe it's some red meat for the Trump base. Maybe. But it would be like, let's say I adopted a kid, but I told him, look, if you misbehave, I'm going to unadopt you. Like, I wouldn't do that. Yeah. Once you adopt them and it's finalized, they're your kid in every way, legally and otherwise. Maybe you're not related by blood like you are the other kids, but they are your child. And so I look at that. I even for crime, we need to make citizenship so rock solid, so meaningful, that it is equivalent to those who are born here naturally.
I also like the concept of showing great gratitude to the people who did it correctly.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for the people who've worked so hard to achieve that. And I don't want to diminish them. They did the time. They did the work. They got to that place.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I should then treat them poorly because they've got that behind their name.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I feel like make it mean something, and once you've earned it, it would be like when you earn a college degree, nobody can take that away from you unless they, it's fraud or something. But we don't jeopardize people having a college degree because they misbehave in other areas of their life. So I think I view it kind of the same way. So 208-542-1079. And I'll be honest with you, seeing this, there might be some obscure paper written by some attorney in the DOJ, and the media is just jumping all over it, and it's not really a serious effort.
Very possible.
I don't know the whole story and all of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So, okay, we have that. I'm really tired of talking about the true crime related stuff in Idaho.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
But did you watch the Lori Vallow Daybell video? No, I'm kidding.
What are it like? Okay.
All right. Let's go to the phones. 208-542-1079. Hi, caller. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Well, I just want to make a comment about citizenship. I think the laws to actually give citizenship should be really more strict in regards, for instance, when I became a U.S. citizen, I learned that actually some people don't have to pledge the flag of the United States. Like I think Jehovah's Witnesses and Muslims, and I can't remember others.
Yeah.
And I thought for me, that's really wrong, because I think that if you want to be a U.S. citizen, you have to pledge to the flag and to honor everything this country stands for. And so it's not just because I think maybe that's the reason why many people that come from other countries, they disregard the American flag, they burn it, especially from Muslim countries.
Yeah.
They just disrespect that. And so I think that to me, that will be the other thing is, I could have had double citizenship, keep the one from where I was born, but I felt like if I'm here, and this is my life here in the U.S., I started my family here, I cannot have loyalty to two countries. I had to choose. If I came here and left my country, my loyalty should be 100% to the U.S.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes for my children, because I noticed that people that come here from other countries, they have dual citizenship, and then when they have children here, they have their children have dual citizenship with their country of where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that to me, it should not be the case. I think that's the reason we have too many problems with people even becoming U.S. citizens, trying to impose the laws like Sharia law and everything, those things that supposedly they were in their country, and they left their country because of all the problems that they have with their laws, but they come here and they want to continue those traditions and laws and believe that actually hurt people, and they want to control others. They want to take over even areas, their lands, where they want to form communities. And we see it all over the country now. It's spreading everywhere where you can just find communities of Muslims and no one can get in that area. Kind of like in Europe. Look what's happening to France, to England.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't want that. So I wish they will do better with regards to clarify and change maybe the laws to make it more like, if you want to really be a U.S. citizenship, you have to live by these principles and honor these things, and we all U.S. citizens respect.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Well stated, and I always appreciate hearing from you. Thank you.
Yeah, she always does a great job when she does call in, and I think that she is an example of someone that I just mentioned in my comments, someone who works so hard. Like, it's a value. It means something to her. I don't want to take that away.
Yeah, that's true. So Representative Ehart texted us, and they said they will take the Heisman Trophy away. Which, we're not laughing at you, Representative Ehart. We just thought that's so her, because she's sports related. And,
I'm sure she has something to say about Caitlin Clark. Did you read that tweet I sent you about what they did to her?
On the vote,
yes, she got. We mentioned yesterday.
Yeah.
overwhelming fan vote. She got more first place votes from the fan than all top 30 vote getters got in 2023. That's how much the fans love her.
Yeah.
And then the league went and dissed her yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Like the players voted her 9th or something?
The 9th best guard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They don't know what's good for them.
They really don't. They are their own worst enemy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame. And here's the thing. I don't think Caitlyn deserves like special treatment like Michael Jordan got.
Now the texts will fly in.
No, but I think that that she should be respected and treated as well as any other player.
Look, she's clearly not the 9th best.
Oh,
clearly.
That's absurd.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she is getting treated poorly.
Look how many records she smashed in that first year of hers. So, yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
And apparently all the shoes sold out in 1 minute.
Oh, really?
Did you
I
hear
didn't
about
see
that?
one.
Yeah, I think let me make sure here. Yeah, cuz she launched a shoe with Nike. And although I will say if you bought a pair of those shoes, you may not want to open them and use them because they may be worth some money someday. But anyway, on Sunday, the sports apparel company dropped a video for Caitlyn's upcoming Nike Kobe sneaker that goes on sale Monday morning. And it says that Caitlyn Clark's new Kobe Player Edition shoe sold out in less than a minute.
I bet there's a lot of people that are keeping them and not using them, not wearing them.
Yeah.
I was mentioning our digital staff said with all the love are pretty geeky.
Yeah, right.
And I was telling them that I had seen a video. There's a man who has a regular job like me and you.
Yeah.
But every year he buys a certain amount of special edition Lego sets.
Yeah.
He holds them for a year.
Yeah.
And then turns around and resells them.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes as much profit reselling his Lego sets as he does his yearly salary at his regular job.
No.
So it's like he has 2 jobs.
No.
Yeah.
How many of these Lego sets does he buy?
Well, the first year was clearly an investment, right? Like he had to invest a whole bunch of money, but now he's bankrolled it year after year. It didn't say in the video how many he buys.
All right. If our general manager's listening, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice right now. But I need an advance so I can go buy some Legos. 9:22 on News Talk 107.9. We'll be back after this. And don't forget, coming up in about 15 minutes, we've got our second of 2 flash polls today. Elon Musk vows to start what he's going to call the American Party if the big, beautiful bill passes. Mm-hmm. That means there will be, there's lots of political parties, but would that change your calculation about what party you align with? We'll have that for you and more coming up on News Talk 107.9. Okay. 1 minute, less than a minute.
That's crazy.
All right. Now back to our regular audience, our regular Facebook audience. Okay.
Okay, so this American Party, I just asked Copilot about it. Copilot is saying that the poll that Elon Musk put up on his own personal feed had over 5 million responses.
Yeah.
More than 80% supported the creation of the new party.
Yeah. But, okay, like you think about it in theory, but in practice, when you think about doing that.
Mm-hmm. I think this is a grass is always greener on the other side concept.
And furthermore, it's a voluntary response poll, which those are never accurate.
No. Also, my X feed has been different since the feud between Trump and Elon.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's changed the algorithms.
In what way?
I get more negative. I've also had, I got sent a complete porn direct message, had to report it.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, Elon, what are we doing over there with changing your algorithms? Because I'm clearly not searching porn on my X feed and I'm getting a direct message.
I'm not on X enough to know. Is there a lot of porn on X?
It happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
The thing is it's so alarming because it is not just a little bit. Like, it's full blown when it ends up on your feed.
Yeah, that's too bad. That's one of the reasons why I do like Facebook is they do a really good job of keeping the porn. Lego guy. Hold on, we gotta go. Hold on. 9:26 on News Talk 1079. Can I tell you really quick what's in the big beautiful bill that we know about? There's obviously more, but it would make Trump's 2017 tax cuts permanent. It'll boost the standard deduction. It will raise state and local tax. That's that SALT deduction cap that we talked about from $10,000 to $40,000 temporarily for incomes up to $500,000.
Okay.
It also introduces some new tax perks like deduction for tips and overtime, bigger child tax credits, and Trump accounts. Those are tax-advantaged savings for families. It adds a 5% tax on remittances, increased taxes on university endowments, and more IRS-related powers, and basically significant tax savings skewed toward upper-income Americans. Well, that's because upper-income Americans pay most of the taxes.
Yeah.
It cuts about $1.2 trillion in spending, especially from Medicaid and Medicare. Major trimming there with work requirement mandates, eligibility hurdles. Up to 11 to 12 million may lose coverage over 10 years, but there are people who probably should lose coverage. SNAP and school meals. States will assume 5% of the benefit costs. And there's education and green energy programs. Pell expansions are curtailed. Private school voucher credits are proposed. Green incentives are withdrawn. It includes defunding Planned Parenthood. That's a big reason to vote for right there. It boosts border security funding and adds $150 billion in defense. It beefs up AI-related judicial restrictions. Not sure what that's about, but the CBO projects the deficits will increase by $2.4 to $2.8 trillion over the next decade, and the overall cost with interest may reach $4 to $5 trillion. But that is the CBO. They are wrong a lot. And
also, we're bringing money in now from the tariffs, so we are working on decreasing that deficit. Nobody wants a complete washout, right?
Yeah.
Bring in a whole bunch of money, but also spend a whole bunch more money. If you're conservative, that's not your ideal. But I think it does need to be factored into this, that if you're feeling a little bitterness about that increased spending, understand that we're going to save money in other places as well, and that should help.
Yeah, and hopefully it will. I also think that, we had, and I remember talking with Senator Risch multiple times during Trump's first term, and he said multiple times that this is the best economy we've had in 50 years. And then later he said, this is the best economy I've ever seen in my lifetime. And Risch is a little over 50.
A little bit.
Just a tad. I think he's 80 now. But so that's saying a lot.
Still working his little guts out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is. But I mean, for him to say that, I think if Trump can get these tax cuts in place and it helps the middle and upper class and the wealthy, then you're going to see job creation. You're going to see a lot of good things that are happening. So, yeah, it is more spending, but it's on things like defense and on the border. And so there are things to hate. You can find things that you don't like about this bill. It's absolutely the case. But there are also some big historic things in it that if they get passed, that I think that they'll greatly benefit the country.
Right.
One big, beautiful bill.
It's actually, though, we learned the One Big, Beautiful Bill Act.
Yes. I mean, because sometimes they try to pass, they turn them into words, like.
Oba.
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 Yes. Okay. All right. Should we take a break? We're gonna do our flash poll. What?
I just wanted to remind everybody, in case they weren't listening in the earlier hours, we are giving away Chuckers tickets on Facebook. So if you go to News Talk 1079, that Facebook page, we have tickets for both the Thursday night game. It starts at 7, culminates with fireworks that night, and then the Friday game. So on the 4th. It's at 4:00. So you might be able to fit that into your plans. We have a healthy stack of tickets to give away.
Yeah.
And even if you don't want to go like the post. It's a cute little cartoon picture of me and Neal.
That's true. We did. Sketched it out earlier this morning. And if you want to go see one big, beautiful baseball game, then you can on later this week. We'll be back. We have that flash poll. If Elon Musk launches the American Party, what are y'all going to do? We'll ask you that coming up.
I'm going to be kind of mean here, but are you ready?
Yeah.
The woman they're interviewing.
What's going on with her bangs?
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
You would totally expect her to look like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I think I know exactly how she voted in the last election.
You know, they're not great if Neal looks at it and is like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah. They drove their Subaru to the polls and everything.
I think her earrings are also some sort of stone that's probably helping her chakra.
Yeah, but if I went to AI and said, draw an environmental activist, but presenting on CNN, that's
probably what it would be. All right, you guys, what are y'all doing for the 4th? What is everybody doing?
You know what? We could ask that question in a flash poll later this week.
We could.
Maybe we do that Thursday.
I got our GP Prime Meats order put in, so Neal is going to be barbecuing spicy hamburgers.
Yes, I am.
My daughter made me dinner on Sunday. She made this like crazy corn that we put on top of rice.
Yeah.
It was all creamy and limey. Cilantro in it. Oh my goodness. Then we put chicken. It was like a version of Mexican version of Hawaiian haystacks.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. That does sound.
Spencer, are you ever going to explain to us why you're in Australia? Like, just type it out real quick. Because I thought I knew, and now I'm not sure I know. And when do you sleep, Spencer? Because isn't it like 2:00 in the morning?
Yeah, I was wondering that same thing. I know you went down under, but maybe
a little bit of Toto.
Because you know what? If you don't tell us what you're doing, we're going to start a rumor that you're in the Australian Witness Protection Program.
Somebody sent a text, and they're like, something needs to be updated on your Chat GPT prompts. Neal has a lot of hair underneath that cartoon picture.
You know, I saw that too, and I thought that doesn't need to be repeated. We don't need to give that any attention.
I thought it was a great cartoon picture of us.
I did too. It looks good. And there's only a little hair smidge on the side, like a side.
I can't see it anymore, so I can't even go to look to see if there was hair because I didn't notice. Spencer says he served his church mission here. He's having a reunion next week. It's 1:30 a.m. currently. I sleep when I can. Jet lag is awful.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's cool.
Enjoy, Spencer. That's awesome.
My niece, great niece, just left to go to Australia for a mission.
I do know there's a whole bunch of our National Guard guys are going over there, Spencer. I think in about 2 weeks, they're headed over there for training.
Never been to us. I'd love to go, though.
That'd be fun.
$9:37 on News Talk 1079 on this Tuesday. It's Independence Week, so I wouldn't say things are lighter. There's a lot happening and a lot of news that we're talking about. Now, we do want to ask you, and I will say this, we're not sure what the American Party's platform would be. I don't even think that's been defined. But I think it's fair to assume that it would be something resembling what the Republican Party is supposed to be. And basically traditional American values, fiscal responsibility, no blue-haired woke crap. I mean, that should just be the platform. No blue-haired woke crap. Like, that could be in there. But so that's the assumption here. And we aren't going to have the standard that you need to know everything about the party that you might decide to join. And this is not binding. Like, if you call in and say, I'll join the American Party, that doesn't mean you have to either.
Yeah,
right now, we're just pretending.
I'd kind of like to know if just people are intrigued about joining.
Yeah. And so that's sort of the assumption here, is that it would. Do you remember when the Boy Scouts of America, I mean, and I don't know if they fully recovered, but they had a lot of tumultuousness. And a new group, what was it called? Something like Campfire USA, something like that.
Okay.
They started a new thing, and it resembled very much so what scouting used to be. And it, yes, really up until probably around the early 2000s, it resembled what scouting used to be. And you had people starting it because they thought, well, you're going to have this exodus from the Boy Scouts of America because they started incorporating some woke ideology. And so, but I don't know that that exodus ever really happened. And so, but I will say, I think there are a lot of people that feel like the Republican Party has been compromised, that we're not getting from them what they say they're going to deliver. So,
yeah, Trump's calling it, these are his words, the 80% in the middle. Those who feel alienated by both parties, the extremes in both parties. So that's how, did I say Trump? I meant Musk. Yeah. That's how Musk is framing what the American Party is. That's a very general observation that's got to be explored much deeper.
Okay, so here is the question. If Elon Musk launches the American Party with the assumption that it will resemble what we always wanted, our highest hopes for the Republican Party, will you join the American? Well, what party will you join? We'll ask that. We have Democrats who are listening that, whatever. So I'd love to hear from you. You can text in or call in on the Stones Automotive Group call and text line 208-542-1079. What's your calculus after if Elon Musk actually launches this great American Party? So this does sort of have echoes of 1992 when Ross Perot came onto the scene and a billionaire forming a political party. It did get about, I think, somewhere around 20% support, but it never got above that.
So somebody texted in and said, no, I would not change parties. However, it might help the life-supported Democrat Party that's practically dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's potential.
And you have to watch for that. Let's go to the next caller. Caller, go ahead. What would you do if Elon Musk starts this party?
I'm totally disinterested because I don't really think it's got a chance of going anywhere, and I'm a Republican.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the call. 208-542-1079. We do have someone saying they would absolutely join the American Party.
We got a couple of texts saying that they don't trust Musk, so I'm not going to join a party that has Musk as their premier leader.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's true. Someone said stay Republican.
Somebody else said, I'm staying put, and I think most people are going to stay put. Elon Musk's popularity took a deep dive when he abandoned Trump. That's why he's going to end up leading people to Mars.
Yeah. You know what? If I were to start a party, I would start the Donner Party, and I would keep, when you have a big meal, then it would be a mystery. But the menu would be a mystery. Like it would be...
Okay, I didn't know where that was going.
Okay, all right. 208-542-1079.
I thought he was going to say, and we give away free barbecue sauce and...
You could. I mean, the sky's the limit here. Like we're not limited by anything at this point. 208-542-1079. Elon Musk starts the American Party. What do you do? Caller, go ahead.
I joined the American Party and hopefully
hopefully it would merge with Trump in the future.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the call. So
that would be a weird about face, because if they were forming to purposely leave extreme MAGA, not my words.
Oh, you know what, though? That's not my read on this.
Okay.
The American Party would be the party where MAGA would go because the establishment has ruined the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm. But he finished that call with them rejoining together.
Yeah.
Which I guess could happen.
I guess it could. Well, that would be the big question. Who would leave?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that question.
I don't know either.
208-542-1079. And let's go to the next caller. Caller, go ahead. How are you?
Yeah, I'm just calling in to announce my official candidacy in the American Party. My motto is going to be "Make America America Again." It'll be the Ma Party.
Okay, thank you for the call.
Ma.
Next caller, go ahead. Caller, what would you do if Elon Musk launches the American Party?
Hi, Neal, Julie.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, guys. I think Elon Musk is trying to follow a little bit in Bill Gates' shoes, and I think that he needs to. Right now, Donald Trump is a president, and Bill Gates is not a politician. He needs to stop trying to play the politician and stick to his little rocket sets, and let Trump do his job for 4 years.
Okay.
Really. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the call. Here's what I would say. It's not as fast as we'd like, because nothing is ever as fast as we'd like. But I feel like Donald Trump's doing a pretty good job of renovating the Republican Party. I mean, Ronna McDaniel, she was gone. Like, you look at it, it's not perfect yet. We still certainly have some rhinos and establishment types. But I feel like there's been some pretty good reform under Donald Trump.
Some positive movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten a couple of texts that are expressing that they love Trump, but they would join the American Party because Trump is different than the establishment Republicans. They're spineless.
Yes.
And they're tired of following them. And Trump can't do it all on his own.
Yeah.
Look, we're watching the big, beautiful bill fight its way out.
Yeah.
He can't do everything on his own. And we don't want him to either.
Yeah.
We want government to work.
Yeah. All right, because we have to figure out how to proceed without Trump in about 3.5, 4 years. So 208-542-1079. A lot of interesting texts coming in. If another party starts in Idaho, the Democrats might end up being the third party. It could happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could, I suppose.
Yeah. And somebody wants to do it old school. They said it makes more sense to primary the rhinos and elect true conservatives.
I think that's your lowest hanging fruit right there. Did they actually cut anything that Musk suggested?
There has been some EV credits that were cut, some hits to what he would have been getting money from the government. I don't feel like that's driving this, though. I mean, this man will willingly lose billions of dollars to do what he wants to do. I'm not sure that's what's driving it.
Yeah, I don't think that's what's driving it.
Mm-hmm. I know there's been talk back and forth, and some of the comments that Trump made this morning as he was about to get on the plane to leave for Florida, he referenced that hey, Elon doesn't like this because he's not getting as much in his subsidies, blah blah blah. I think that's I think that's just the whipped cream on top of the pile. I don't think there's a lot of depth to that.
So I did hear, while we're waiting for another call to come in at 208-542-1079, that, and I don't know if this makes it in the final bill or not, but it would get rid of, or at least significantly reduce, all the wasted subsidies that we've been throwing at wind and solar for the last however many years. And I would say that fraudulent industry has been slurping at the trough of the federal government for far too long. And it's time to end all that crap.
And doing that without really great results to say, hey, it's been worth it.
Well, if it's been worth it, I'd be for redoing it.
But there haven't been results.
It's like the wind it's not reliable energy. It's nothing we can't replace with nuclear and hydro. Like it makes liberals feel good. That's what it does.
Yeah.
All right, 208-542-1079 if you'd like to reach us on the program. Slurping at the trough sounds better than what I used to say. So Let's go to the next caller. How are you, caller? Go ahead.
Hi, fine. I just wanted to talk about the tariffs briefly.
Well, that's not this segment. We're asking you, what party would you align with if Trump launches the American Party? Okay, thank you for the call. 208-542-1079. Caller, how would you align politically if Musk launches the American Party?
I'm going to caveat this. I would stay Republican, but I think what we have and what Elon doesn't understand, he's throwing a fit because everything didn't go his way. But the problem is you can't fix 100 years worth of corruption with one budget without crashing the economy. And I don't think Elon understands that. You have to eat the elephant one bite at a time, and I don't think he gets it. So I can't support a party that is being run by somebody that's so emotional. And I know I'm saying that Trump's our president, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I got you. He's rooted in reality, and I agree with that. I also think that Elon Musk operates in a certain way as a CEO where he says something and it happens, or some people get fired, right? You don't have that in the federal government. And I think Trump tried to do a lot of that in his first term, and he realized that's not the most effective way to navigate the federal government. And he's gotten a lot more savvy with this. And I think Trump's probably going, I don't like the spending either. But this is step one in an incremental process. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next caller. Caller, go ahead. What do you have to say today?
Is it me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just think that we have enough trouble trying to pass bills with two parties. What the heck is three parties going to do?
Yeah.
There needs to be some reform, but I'm going to stick with Trump.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the call. And it's a third party is a pipe dream in a sense. It always has been.
This is an interesting take on that, which is this person saying, I would stay independent, so no party preference. I don't see how a third party works. You're only going to split Republicans in the House and Senate on an already thin margin.
Yeah, exactly. And so you're only hurting yourself. You're helping the you're going to Evan McMullen the Republicans if you do this. Yeah. And so you just can't let it happen. Yeah. All right, 951-208-542-1079. Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that, Julie.
Okay.
And I like this flash poll. I think that it was good. I was a little surprised. I thought most people would be like, I'm leaving the Republicans. I'm going to be. I think people are a little more savvy than that.
I think so too.
They realize how helpful that would be to the Democrats if Elon carries through on this. We'll be back 9:52 on News Talk 107.9. Okay. If Elon gets what he wants, what's going to stop every billionaire from creating different parties? It's true. He can start. I think he'd peel off a few people. But I actually feel like people are fairly pleased with what Trump's done with the Republican Party. Even when you have Republicans that are rhinos and they don't really like Trump, he has a way of keeping them in line. And so...
Neal and I are worried we're being anthrax poisoned in the studio.
Like right at 9 o'clock, we had...
I all of a sudden just sneezed. There was no warning. I can usually give Neal a warning so he can turn down my slider so my mic isn't hot. There was no warning. I sneezed. Now both of our noses are running and my tongue is kind of tingly.
Yeah. Are you getting hives or anything?
So as a farewell to you guys, thank you for being the best listeners ever.
You're fine. Let's see. We will have a minute 20, which takes us to 55 and change. So we'll have enough time for another call. Because we're done with our endorsements, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tomorrow, though, Thursday, because we're going to be gone Friday. So let's get Grand Peaks in Thursday.
We'll do Wednesday and Thursday for Grand Peaks.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, da, da, dun, da, 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 da,
Boom, boom, boom. I'll be the percussion. Boom, boom, All right.
Have you ever marched in a parade? Like when you were in high school, did Aberdeen do a parade?
Not as a musician, but yeah, I've been
They
in
did other parades.
tons
or
of parades.
Like
yeah.
I know as like a personality, but in high school, were you in like student council in a parade or?
I don't know. Well, yeah, because I was on the football team, so would sit on the float and wave to all the
So
little
Aberdeen
kids.
did a parade.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had Aberdeen days. We had homecoming week. So, yeah, we totally.
All right.
We do have roads and cars there, Julie.
Sometimes I question it.
Yeah, I know. 208-542-1079. And let's go to our next caller. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
I have to agree with you. A third party is kind of a pipe dream. Our whole political system is geared towards a two-party system. Look what happened to the Tea Party, and that probably had the most momentum we've seen in a third party in decades, if not since the beginning. So it's going to take a lot more momentum than what there's available now for any third party to get any kind of real traction.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's an Elon Musk impulse right now to talk this way. I think once he actually looks at the logistics of it and just how unfeasible it is to become a viable party, I don't think this thing will be around in a couple of weeks. So,
yeah, that low hanging fruit is where we need to focus our efforts.
yeah.
Because if we can do that, then I think we can make better changes and possibly even get term limits for these people.
Yeah, I that would not hurt my feelings at all. Thank you for the call. I appreciate that. Speaking of that, we have, well, more locally, Julie, it looks like the IEA is holding these town halls across Idaho. They are having a continuous conniption about House Bill 93. You know, the End of Western Civilization Act of 2025.
Or as they frame it.
Yeah, because we took a teeny tiny, it's not even a percentage of the education budget. It's different money, and said, we'll give a tax credit to parents who want to choose a different educational path for their kid.
Mm-hmm.
Why is K through 12 North Korea? Why is it that they can't let anybody leave ever?
Mm-hmm. Do you want the nefarious version of that answer?
Sure.
Which is they have to indoctrinate your kids somehow. I'm not talking about teachers. I'm talking about the teachers union right now. I think that there's really great teachers who are out there still caring about the education of your children, not about the social welfare of your child.
Yeah.
But I believe the teachers union realizes the way that they mold and create the society. Man, they don't want to give up that power.
No, they don't want to give up that power. And they, we don't have time. As gifted as I am, I can't make my point in 20 seconds, unfortunately.
You can on Facebook Live.
That's true. All right. Text live to 208-542-107, never mind. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.